Hello, my lovely humans. Today is October 11th when I am filming this, but I got pulled over last Saturday and I was in costume. For those of you who don't know, hi, I'm FCA and I'm a Halloween enthusiast. I dress up most days of the month. And I had been at gaming. We do tabletop gaming. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but there's lots of other games you can play. I am currently DMing a game called Deadlands Noir from Savage Worlds. And very nerdy. So I was driving home and I've been driving my brother's car because my car is in disrepair. So I was driving home and I missed my turn coming home and I got pulled over. And I got to thinking that this is not the first time I've been pulled over, so I thought it would be fun to share my Halloween pulled over stories because it's also not the first time I've been pulled over in costume. So we'll retouch on that story. The first one I'm going to tell you about happened in, I'm thinking 2008, 2009, somewhere in that time period. I was working for the Salvation Army Croc Center. Yes, that is a church facility-based facility. And they had a recreation department that I worked in. I was the assistant supervisor. We hosted birthday parties, events. Other churches did lock-ins at our things. We had roller skating. There was a disadvantaged teens program. There was lots of stuff in the recreation department. And I worked there. Sometimes I didn't get off work. Like if we worked the overnight lockdowns or something like that, sometimes I didn't get out of work till like 4 a.m. And we had lots of late night events. So I would be walking home late at night sometimes and I would get pulled over, costume or not, just because I'm 4'11". And so they would think that I was a teen who was out past my curfew. Well, then the time that I got pulled over in costume specifically was that I was walking to work in the morning. It was 9 a.m. And I was walking to work and I was dressed like a mermaid. So let me find a picture to put in here. Because I have not figured out, I am trying to learn the technology to like just put the photos up in as I'm talking. Maybe I'll learn that before this video comes up and there'll be a picture there. I don't know at this moment. We'll find out together. So I was dressed like that or similar to it and I got pulled over. I was walking to work when I got pulled over. And an SUV just swung up near where I was. The officer jumped out, scared me. You know, you don't expect a cop to come bolting at you at 9 a.m. And he was like, "Where are you going? I need to see some ID." And I was like, whoa, what are you stopping me for? Because I have to stop if you pull me over, but you have to tell me why you stopped me. You don't just get to demand stuff from me. Tell me what I did wrong. And he was like, "Look, do you have any ID or not? Do you have a reason to be stopping me, sir? Like, you don't want to be disrespectful to an officer, but show me some respect too." And he was like, "Look, there's been an incident in the area. We're trying to check people out. I just need to know where you're going and if you have some ID." Well, the only ID I had, because again, I was dressed like that in the mermaid thing, I was like, I have my work ID. I'm on my way to work, but it doesn't look like me now. I showed it to him and he's like, "This is the only thing you have on you?" Yeah, because I didn't drive at the time. So I didn't have a car and I didn't drive, so I didn't have a license. I had a state ID, but I didn't carry it with me because I was too young to drink. And yeah, he let me go and sent me on my way. So that was the first time that I got pulled over in costume. The second time I got pulled over in costume was about 10 years later. It was 2019, 2018. And I worked at a bar for 7 years, for those of you who don't know. What's up? And we were having a Halloween event, and I was dressed in what I consider one of my best costumes of all time, right here. If you've seen my last couple videos, you've probably seen that picture for those video reasons. So I'll link those below if you want to see that stuff, more Halloween fun. But I was dressed like that. It was 2 a.m-ish. And I was driving home from work because we had our Halloween event. So I'm driving home and I get pulled over like that. And also, just for the record, let me get my purse. I have to go to work in 15 minutes. But this is my purse. This is my little straitjacket buddy. That's what I call him. And there's zippers in the back. And I keep my cards and my IDs in this bottom one. And I also keep all of my stuff in the back seat because I don't want to be distracted. I don't want to deal with phone calls or texts or anything. Those are all in the back seat. So the cop pulls me over. And I was just looking at my timer. I thought it wasn't going, that I'd been talking and the camera wasn't going. And so I'm like, get pulled over, and the officer like does a double take at me and goes, license and registration, please. I pulled you over for speeding. And can I just tangent for a second? There's this little strip in my town on one of the main streets where it goes from 35 to 25 in about half a street distance. And where the warning is that says that the speed limit drops to 25 is covered by a willow tree. And so when it's already covered by a drooping tree and it's October at 2 a.m, it's hard to see. So speeding, anywho, I looked at the officer and I said, sir, my ID is in the back seat in my purse. I will get it for you. I am absolutely willing to do that for you, officer. But look at my face. How much do you think my ID is really going to help you right now? He looked at me a beat, made a little face, and he goes, you know what? You were only going like 3 or 4 miles over the speed limit. Have a happy Halloween. Thank you, officer. I mean, like, my hair was covered. I have a giant mouth and I have 2 different colored contacts in. I don't look like my ID. Which also didn't help me. We're going to get back to the story I started with, the 3rd time that I got pulled over in costume. As I said, I missed my turn to come home, so I was going to loop around, and I had my brights on. And there was a cop car. I didn't know it was a cop car at the time. They were coming towards me, and I didn't turn my brights off, so I got pulled over. I completely forgot. Like, it just didn't occur to me that you're not allowed to have your brights on with oncoming traffic. You have to turn them off with oncoming traffic. Oopsie. And I was completely dumbfounded by this. The officer pulled me over. I'm like, I'm going under the speed limit. Like, I know the registration stickers on the car is up to date. What is going on? And he goes, hey, do you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, no. And he goes, you have your brights on. I was like, yeah. And he went, you're not allowed to have your brights on. Oh? And he explains the whole oncoming traffic blinding the other drivers thing. And I was like, And he was like, I need your license and registration. And I was like, okay, hold on. My license and registration, my license is in my purse, which is in the back seat. Also, my registration, I have it, but I am driving my brother's car, so those are not going to line up. And he's like, okay, what's your brother's name? And I was like, my brother's name's Andrew. Okay. So I pull out my ID. He watches me get it out of my funky little purse. He's making a weird face at me. And he was like, where are you coming from? And I said, at a friend's house. And he goes, were you guys having a party? Because I had on Halloween makeup. Half of my face was painted like a skull. And I said, not really. We were playing Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't want to explain the whole Deadlands thing to him. So he goes, okay. And I give him the registration, give him the ID. He's like, all right, I need proof of insurance. My brother gets his proof of insurance, like a picture sent to him. He doesn't get a physical paper. So I don't have a way to show that to him. And I don't have a picture of the insurance. And I haven't put my insurance in the car So it just didn't occur to me, and I explain all that to the officer. I'm like, I can text him and I can text him to text me the picture if you want me to, but it's not physically in here. And he looked at me, he goes, make sure you get a picture of that or have something in the car that shows you have proof of insurance, because you need to have that in the vehicle when you're driving it, okay? And he goes, have a good night and make sure you're not using your brakes. Thank you, officer. He goes, all right, you have a good night. Give you a warning this time. There is zero reason outside of the kindness of this cop's heart that I should not have had a ticket. Because the car's not registered to me. I'm clearly like just obliviously, blatantly breaking the law of blinding other drivers with my brights on. And I don't have proof of insurance in the vehicle that I'm driving. And I don't look like my ID, which isn't a crime, but I'm just like... So some cops are nice, just saying. Those are the times that I've gotten pulled over in costume. Like I said, when half of your face is painted or you have full makeup, like Halloween effects makeup on, and a cop asks for your ID, it's like, this isn't going to do either of us any good. But yes. So tell me about any funny, hopefully good outcome stories like I had of you getting pulled over maybe at Halloween in a costume, or just something out of the ordinary happened. And I will get to see you in the next video. Happy Halloween, my loves. Mwah! Be safe. I know that times are scary and trying, and not scary in the spooky time way. But mwah.